morning to both of you.
Thanks for coming on, Martin.
Thanks, Martin. Good to talk to you.
A lot of discussion around whether or not that was a good or a bad point. What did you think?
Well, I think that before the game, I don't think people would have given Leicester much of a chance to have taken something from the game. So it's a point. It keeps them going, and it does force, if they could win their final game, it does force Everton to win their match.
What did you think of were you surprised at the team selection last night, Martin? I know he's gone with two, you'd argue goal scorer, obviously goal scorers, Vardy and Iheanacho, but there was no Maddison and no Harvey Barnes. Did that surprise you to a degree?
It did absolutely, Ali. Yeah, I thought that if you have to go and try and win the game. Now, I know that the most important thing is trying to quell the crowd at Newcastle, obviously up for themselves, as the two of you just been talking about their own exploits and how well they've done and our Champions League qualification with a point. But as the game went on, obviously they made some changes. But I thought that the best chance maybe to try and get a goal is obviously to quell the crowd, but at least try and show something if you have the ball. Now, easier said than done, as we know. If you're under pressure, and they were under pressure, I think the stats were something like about 22% to 78. It's incredible, really. Mm-hmm. And Leicester just couldn't get out of their own box. Then they were having to fire it long without being able to get a few passes together, which I say can be very, very difficult if you're continually under pressure. But even so, I suppose, the manager wanted to try and get a result. He wanted to try and get something out of the game. I think he said afterwards, he said he made no apologies for it. So that they've got a...
Oh, Martin, you still there?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We lost you just for a split second there. Martin, what have you made of the overall demise of Leicester this season?
It is really surprising, I must admit. Now, there's no such thing as teams even saying that they're an established outfit, but you could call Leicester City, having won the Premier League way back in 2016, as an established side. It's been remarkable, really remarkable in the sense of not being able to get results. I think that just a complete surprise to everyone.
See, in terms of Martin, I've got my own theory, and I don't think the likes. I don't think the recruitment perhaps has been in place. You know, they lose key players, and as you know, I keep going on about that squad at Manchester City, which is obviously a one-off. But in terms of recruitment, do you think that is one of the problems? And I'm going to compare Leicester to a team like perhaps like Brighton, who have equally lost talented players, but in terms of replacing them, seem to have done exceptionally well.
I couldn't agree more with you, Alan. Couldn't agree more. It's recruitment's become so vital. Every single year it becomes vital. Whatever side that you have and how well you've done or not done the previous year, recruitment is essential. Exactly. Yeah. And from Leicester's viewpoint, it doesn't look good enough.
In terms of the rest of the league and Nottingham Forest managing to stay up, secure their survival and do it with a manager that at one point was in the papers at least being risked with getting the sack. What have you made of their season?
Well, I suppose really, Laura, but if you consider that they have they've spent more money in one transfer window than the history of the football club put together, I think. They have actually, and £160 million. I think that you're entitled to think that you should be able to stay up with that. However, sometimes when, as a manager, you are throwing a lot of players together, then it's, I suppose, maybe it is, well, of course, it's part of your job to gel them. Eventually, they saw it through, and did well at the end to get through. But I would honestly thought that during the course of the season that they should be able to pull themselves together. They did have the wherewithal. They were never going to be short of players, let me put it this way, even if they were going to have a setback of injuries and things like that. So they always were going to have a nucleus of a big enough squad. How you utilise those, and eventually they got the points to stay up. So I can see big improvements coming next season for them.
Absolutely.
Okay, Martin.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming on this morning, Martin. Look forward to seeing you soon, mate.
No problem.
See you later.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much.
Do you know what was brilliant as well?
Yeah.
I know we're running out of time. I wanted to give the Forest fans a mention as well, particularly at home, because the atmosphere within that stadium, tremendous.
Someone tweeted me yesterday and said that everyone they've spoken to, the away fans, say it's the best atmosphere in the Premier League. I didn't get there this season, so maybe I can hopefully get there next season.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday morning 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.